Hey there, fellow explorer, and welcome to a special Espirito edition of the Deep Dive.
Espirito.
Yeah, Espirito Deep, you could say.
I like that.
You know, it's Italian for expert, so we're
Ah,
taking our expertise to the next level for you today.
I'm.
All right, so we're diving into Diwali today. You sent over this really great piece about it,
Mm-hmm.
really in-depth, and we want to go kind of past just the surface level of, oh, it's a big celebration and all that.
Yeah.
Like, let's really get into it. What are the meanings?
Yeah.
Where did it come from? All those traditions, the stuff your piece lays out. I think that's what makes this so fascinating to so
Yeah.
many people, right?
Yeah. It really is. One of the first things that jumps out from what you sent is that, while Diwali is super tied to Hinduism, it's not just them.
Right.
You've got Jains celebrating, Sikhs, even some Buddhists. It's got this wide appeal, each with their own spin on things.
Okay. So origins, your piece talks about different stories for different faiths. For Hindus, it seems like a lot of it comes back to Lord Rama.
Right.
When Sita and Lakshmana come back to Ayodhya after, 14 years in exile.
Yeah.
And of course, Rama defeating Ravana, that whole good versus evil thing. Light over darkness. It's really powerful stuff.
It is, and it speaks to everybody, don't you think? Like,
Yeah.
we all have our struggles, our own little dark moments.
Yeah, exactly.
And this, Diwali, it's about choosing to fight back with light, hope, not just sitting around hoping things get better. You go out and make them better.
Yeah.
And even within Hinduism, it goes beyond just Rama, doesn't it? The source mentions Lakshmi too, right?
Oh, absolutely. The gods of wealth, all that good stuff. Makes sense with the whole Diwali vibe, new beginnings, people thinking about their goals, the future. And wasn't there something about Krishna, too, in some parts of India?
Yeah, in some regions, it's about Lord Krishna defeating this demon, Narakasura. So even within Hinduism, there's a bunch of different layers of meaning.
Wow, yeah. Now, shifting gears a bit. For Jains, Diwali marks something totally different, but just as important, wouldn't you say?
Oh, for sure. They're celebrating Lord Mahavira, the 24th Tirthankara, reaching moksha, liberation.
Moksha, big word.
Yeah.
Break that down for us a little.
Think of it like the ultimate freedom. From rebirth, from all that, pure bliss, pure enlightenment. It really cuts to the heart of what Jainism is all about, right? Inner light, beating back that karmic darkness.
Interesting. And then there's Sikhism, which celebrates Diwali as Bandi Chor Divas. What's the story there?
It marks when Guru Hargobind, the sixth Sikh guru, was freed from prison. And, it's cool how it all ties together, all these different faiths, different stories, but it comes back to liberation, freedom from exile, demons, prison. It's always about good winning in the end.
That is a really good point. Light prevailing one way or another. Now, you mentioned Diwali being 5 days, and your piece goes deep into each day having its own meaning. Let's take them one by one, starting with Dhanteras, right? The Day of Fortune.
And it starts off focusing on health and well-being, Lord Dhanvantari, the god of medicine. And the source even says that people buy new stuff on this day, utensils, gold, silver, inviting in good luck and wealth, basically.
Setting the tone for a very prosperous Diwali, right?
Exactly. You've got your health, your wealth, you're ready to go.
Makes sense. Then we move on to day 2, Naraka Chaturdashi. Also called Choti Diwali, Little Diwali.
Right. This one ties right back to the defeat of Narakasura.
So another good over evil celebration.
Yeah, that's the focus. And your source talks about the rituals, baths, putting on oils. It's not just getting clean, it's like a spiritual cleansing,
Right.
Wiping the slate clean, getting ready for the big celebration.
Like a reset button. And then the main event, Lakshmi Puja. This seems like the heart of it all, wouldn't you say?
For sure. This is where families do Lakshmi Puja, offering prayers to the goddess. And oh man, the lights everywhere. Diyas, those little oil lamps and candles all over the place. It's just gorgeous and so central to the whole Diwali experience, And then, of course, you've got the fireworks going off, adding to the whole celebration.
I love those diyas. There's something so beautiful about them. That gentle light in the dark. And speaking of light, after Lakshmi Puja comes Govardhan Puja. Your source mentioned this marks the Hindu New Year in some places.
Yeah, and it's all about Krishna. When he defeated Indra, the story goes that he lifted up a whole hill to protect people from Indra's wrath.
Wow.
Your source even mentions how people build little hills out of cow dung to symbolize it. It's a pretty powerful image, right? Thinking about humility, divine protection.
That's really interesting. And finally, we reach the 5th day, Bhai Dooj, the Day of Love. This one's all about family, right?
Yeah, specifically that bond between brothers and sisters, kind of like Raksha Bandhan. The sisters do arti for their brothers, pray for their well-being, and there's usually gifts, a big meal. It's really about celebrating those close ties during Diwali.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
So across these 5 days, it's like a journey, isn't it? Starting with fortune, health, and acknowledging the good winning out, celebrating prosperity, a new year, and finally family love. It's really pretty amazing how it all flows together.
Yeah, you really see how much thought and meaning goes into each part of it.
Now, besides those specific days, your source also goes into all the other traditions that come with Diwali. Obviously, lights are huge, like we talked about.
Right. And it's not just about pretty lights, it's that idea of pushing back the darkness. Literally and figuratively. Every little lamp feels like a little victory for hope and good vibes, you know.
I get that. And then there's those Rangoli decorations.
Yeah.
Those can get so intricate and beautiful. What are they all about, according to your source?
So they're seen as really auspicious, welcoming Lakshmi into your home, the colors, the designs. It's about creating this happy, welcoming energy, like you're inviting in prosperity and good luck just by having them there.
Cool. And of course, we can't forget about the pujas, those
Mhm.
prayers and rituals that happen all throughout the 5 days.
Right, that's the heart of it. Connecting with the divine, being thankful for what you have, and asking for blessings for the future. It really ties the whole spiritual side together, you know.
And let's be honest, the food is a big part too, right? Those sweets, the mithai, I bet those are a highlight for a lot of people.
They definitely are. And there's something so lovely about sharing those sweets and gifts, you know? It spreads the joy around, makes those connections stronger. It's like a physical representation of all the abundance and good things Diwali is about.
Totally. And your source mentions fireworks too, right?
Hmm.
Another symbol of pushing back the darkness. Although I know there's some talk about the environment these days.
Yeah, that's definitely a conversation that's happening.
Okay.
But traditionally, it's all about driving away bad energy and celebrating the light winning out. All those sounds and bright lights, it's pretty powerful.
For sure. And something your piece really emphasizes is that family aspect, all the gatherings, the big meals. Diwali seems like a very family-oriented time.
Oh, absolutely. Families go all out to get together, travel from far away. It's a time for reconnecting, eating good food, celebrating as a group. Really builds those bonds stronger, you know? That's something you see in lots of cultures, isn't it? That importance of family during big celebrations makes you think it's something we all need, that sense of belonging, of being connected.
It is interesting, right? And lastly, there's a whole thing about buying new clothes. It feels like that's all tied into the new beginnings that come with Diwali.
Yeah, exactly. New clothes, new start. It's another way of marking how special the occasion is and gets everyone in that happy celebratory mood, ready for everything Diwali has to offer.
So we've covered a lot. The origins, all 5 days, the traditions. Your piece also talks about something called the essence of Diwali. Sounds pretty deep.
Yeah, it's about looking past all the fun stuff and getting to the core message. Diwali is about more than just parties and lights. It's about taking that light and using it to beat back your own personal darkness, working on yourself, fighting those negative thoughts and feelings.
I like that. Looking inward, not just outward.
Mm.
And speaking of looking inward, your source also talks about embracing good, being righteous.
Right, it's a reminder to live a good life, to be honest, kind, to think about your actions and try to be the best version of yourself.
And a big part of that is spreading happiness, right? That seems like it's woven into everything about Diwali.
For sure. It's meant to be a happy time for everyone. The gifts, the lights, the whole atmosphere. It all builds up that feeling of joy and goodwill.
And again, we come back to that family and friend connection. Seems like a major theme.
It is. Our loved ones are our support system, right? Diwali is a chance to show them how much we care, to spend quality time, to strengthen those relationships.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, the big takeaway from your piece seems to be that Diwali is all about fostering unity and hope. Powerful stuff.
It really is. Because whether you're Hindu, Jain, Sikh, or however you celebrate, that message is the same. Hope, renewal, good over evil. That's what brings everyone together.
So I think we've done a pretty good job of unpacking all this. We've seen that Diwali is so much more than just a festival of lights, although that's a big part of it. It comes from all these different places, different faiths with all these layers of meaning. We've talked about the rituals, the 5 days, and what makes each of them special. And of course, all the stuff that makes Diwali come alive, the diyas, rangoli, pujas, food, those family get-togethers.
And at its core, it's a reminder. Good over evil, light over darkness, hope winning out in the end. A time for celebrating and for looking inward at yourself.
It really does make you think. So here's a question for you, our listener. How does this idea of light overcoming darkness play out in your own life? What are your inner darknesses? And how can you bring more light, more positivity into your world? Something to ponder, even when the Diwali lights have gone out. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.